right, so the candle's been sitting in the wax for a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and puncture it with the thumbtack here. So we're just going to punch a couple holes in it and let the water come out a little bit. And can go on the other side as well. All right, we'll let that sit there, and I'm going to ask you some questions, Jensen, and then we're going to then finish up the project pretty much here. So, Jensen, while doing the activity, was there anything you thought that you could change or alter to make it, say, a little harder or easier?
Well, if you want to talk about getting it harder, then probably not using a burner, using something menial like a lighter to melt the wax. Instead, that would make it a lot harder besides boiling it on the stove.
For sure.
If, let's say you wanted to make it easier, then instead of doing this stupid taping, this wick in the center, you can get like a smaller candle, like a thin candle, stick it in the middle instead of having to tape the wick.
Okay. Do you think that maybe if you provided some more options for people, like maybe different colors, or maybe instead of using, like you could have some materials or something along here that we could, after we get the candle out of the container, like maybe some beads or something, we can melt some wax and maybe use that as like glue to stick it to the candle. Do you think people would appreciate that, and or you think that'd make it a little bit more difficult probably?
To put beads in the candle?
Well, not in the candle, but like, for example, if once we get this out here and we have the finished product, we could have like some beads or some wire, and we could wrap it around and then melt wax on top of it in order to make it have some more personal design to it. Do you think somebody would like that if they really enjoyed making candles, for example?
Yeah, if they like making artsy craft stuff, then yeah, of course. Then if you like to decorate, then I think that someone like that would appreciate it. But if someone like me, probably not, because it's just a candle.
Yeah.
And I don't have to put extra stuff on it.
So, I mean, like you said, you don't really enjoy this activity very much. So, I mean, for some people, arts and craft stuff, like my sister here, doesn't really sit well with her. But do you think you can see that people that have maybe some fine motor deficits, maybe some finger strength issues, or maybe some problems with remembering what steps they've completed, do you think that this craft specifically could help them with those issues?
I would say a little bit. I mean, anything to exercise the brain, of course. If you're having those types of issues, then yeah, it could be helpful. Definitely could be enjoyable for, again, someone who likes doing arts and crafts. If someone who's been in an accident or something and they have low motor functions in their fingers, but they enjoy doing arts and crafts, that might be some sort of kind of therapy for them. Maybe just something that they enjoy. So I think that it could be helpful for that person. I feel like it's more person specific.
Sure. I mean, for sure. I mean, I'm not going to do this craft with someone that doesn't, have maybe they like candles or something, something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So the candle is pretty hard at this point. We're going to go ahead and start cutting away the paper here. So use the scissors here. We're just going to kind of cut, and then once we make a cut, we'll kind of just rip it off kind of carefully. I mean, it's also kind of nice that once this is done, we'll have a finished product that somebody can use as well, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, someone needs a candle, especially here in Florida with the hurricanes. I mean,
yeah. What about if somebody had, say, depression or anxiety? Do you think that this activity... Oh, no, candle. That's okay. Just let it sit there. Yeah. Probably not quite hard enough. No big deal. So anyway, back to so if somebody was like anxious or depressed, like let's say if we had added a scent to this candle, do you think that could, improve their mood maybe, or?
Yeah, I would say so. Everyone likes a nice scent. I mean, that one has, I don't know what you did to it, but you made it with a nice scent. And I feel like someone who has anxiety or depression, if they like for the senses, I feel like it would help a little bit.
Sure, yeah. All right. So, like, what activities do you think that this is sort of similar to? Like maybe cooking?
Yeah, I'd say definitely cooking. I cook a fair amount, and I would say like if I was making some soup or something, that melting the wax kind of reminded me of stirring around in circles, just basic human needs of cooking.
Cooking,
I would
okay.
say it's very very similar. It could be as similar if you like to cook, then maybe it's something that you would like to enjoy too.
But not yet.
But not me.
Okay. I mean, we could at this point, we could probably cut the wick down a little bit so that we can get rid of that pencil. So just kind of use the scissors to cut the extendedly long wick there to make it more normal. Some terrible scissors.
Yeah.
Okay. Took a little longer than I thought it would have been, but okay. Let's see what the candle looks like. We have some nice little holes going on. That's nice. It's not quite hard. We kind of jumped the gun a little bit there, but what's kind of nice about wax is that since we made a little mess here, the easiest we can actually fix this because wax is so malleable that we could simply just melt it and kind of make it look like nothing even happened there, which is nice. So for people that have issues with maybe that they're like they like things that are perfect,
OCD.
like OCD, exactly. Yeah, Justin. This right here could easily be fixed with just using a little lighter to fix the error, which is nice. All right. And then, what other activities do you think this could be similar to? I mean, like it could be used to benefit. Is there anything off the top of your head that you can think of, like maybe dressing? Do you think this would affect dressing in any way? Or bathing, home management? I mean, I know you don't know the OTPF exactly, know the occupation, but what is there anything specific other than cooking that you can think of? Is there anything that this could, benefit in your mind?
Anything that I could benefit?
Yeah, like anything that you do in your life, like laundry, or I know a lot of things require a certain amount of instructions and directions to do. Like maybe how I was thinking maybe was like let's say you got like a brand new table from like IKEA or something, and you have this big instruction manual, and this required a certain amount of instructions to do. So I could relate to that based on having to do things step by step in order to come to a complete finished product that's what we aim for. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. If you want to put it that way, then anything that includes instructions.
Sure. I mean, like sequence, a lot of things that require sequencing. I think this had 11 or 12 steps to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is
someone with memory issues for sure.
Sure. Okay.
Like other than that, like it's a basic homes and crafts type project, and again, if it's a good thing if you need some candles. Instead of going to the store and buying those $5 to $10 candles, just get some crayons and.
No, I mean that's what's that's another good thing about this activity. Thanks for bringing that up, Nelson. A lot of everything we had here today cost us literally nothing. I mean, we had a bunch of old candles that we just kind of crumpled down, and then we used that to meld in with the crayons that we had. And this is an old beef stew container. And I mean, for somebody that is maybe poor or has a need for candles specifically, or there's other crafts you can do as well. But being able to go out and make this basically from scratch is pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, save money.
Certainly. Let's see. Is it hard enough just at all there?
A little bit.
A little bit. Let's just try to carefully cut away. Don't put too much pressure on it. Maybe cut from this side, maybe. There you go. Now these, so there'll be a lot of water because from the ice that's melting. So it can be really fragile, so just be kind of careful with it. See right here, we're using a lot of grip strength here. There it is. Show off your candle, Jensen. Pretty cool.
Not as many.
Not as many holes, but it was a smaller container. This was a lot larger. Really neat. So did this activity, I don't know, how did it make you feel doing it exactly? I mean, were you annoyed? Did you find it kind of more fun maybe than you thought you would than you originally thought it would be?
Very neutral with it.
Neutral. Okay.
Neutral. It kind of, like I said, it kind of reminded me of cooking, which is just kind of a basic human need, something you need to cook or be lazy and go out to McDonald's. But I prefer to cook, and it just kind of reminded me of that. I just don't get the enjoyment of feeding,
No what?
of eating food.
Oh, of eating. All right, and then we can cut the wick there.
Scissors are terrible.
Really cool. So, are you going to, I don't know, are you going to save the candle? Are you going to put it in your room? Something? I mean, are you going to show it off to people? Anything like that?
No, I'm not going to show it off. I'll just keep it. I want to get a lighter later and fix this corner.
Sure.
Gotta get on my nerves.
And another thing, since, I mean, wax is, again, really durable and can be reused over and over and over again, maybe if you didn't like your end result exactly, you could always just kind of do this again. It didn't take overly a lot of time, did it?
No, didn't take that long. Just longest part was waiting for it to melt.
Certainly, yeah. And then kind of waiting to dry a little bit too. Kind of took a little time. Really cool. All right, Jensen. So, is all the ice in the inside of the candle melted at this point? For the most part. I mean, there might be some still.
Little piece right there.
Yeah, a little piece still. Okay, so we'll just leave that on the towel here. Just go ahead and clean up the area as best you can. I know there's going to be a lot of little pieces of wax. I mean, it was really important for us to lay down this towel here because this can be a bit of a messy project. I mean, you could easily spill wax and make the counter all messed up. So it was nice to put down the towel. I think that's a pretty important step. Just throwing stuff away. Really cool. You can throw so with the wax in the pot here, Jensen, I know it's kind of hardened over. The best way to kind of actually get rid of this is to just put some water in it, and the water will actually seep underneath the wax and will just kind of come off like a big chunk. So we can go ahead and put some water in that pot. Okay. Cool. I'm just going to let that sit there and it'll be better. All right. So the entire purpose, Jensen, of this activity, again, just to reiterate and kind of come to a conclusion here. This activity can work on a lot of sequencing skills, like we mentioned. I think you've kind of identified that, and you can see that, right?
Yeah.
It can work on a lot of hand and I mean, there's some lifting required in order to lift the pot up out of the water and bring it over and pour it. So there's some upper arm muscles included there as well. Certainly a lot of finger motions. I mean, you were using the scissors. I mean, it required you to tape it to the bottom of the container itself. You had to grab and to pick up ice cubes and throw it in there. Yeah. Something we didn't talk about before was sense. Like if somebody didn't have like senses in their fingers, like maybe they had you don't know what this is, but a brachial plexus injury, which is a nerve in your arm that kind of runs down and gives you your arm sensation, basically. Yeah. If you weren't able to feel, do you think that would hinder your ability? I mean, certainly it could be dangerous. I think you can see that because you could burn yourself and not even know it, right? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. If you have that issue in life, then I feel like it'd be definitely a little bit more difficult just having the sense to simply pour the wax into the box. You can't just feel the sensation, and maybe you burn it with, you get wax on yourself and you don't know it.
Yeah.
Like you said, burning the pot, it could be definitely damaging to yourself that way. And then what else?
Oh, that was pretty much it. So we have the finished product here. I think Jensen did a pretty good job. She followed my instructions pretty much to the T. Just had a small minor error, but again, the candle can be fixed fairly easily. So if if a patient has a problem with it, you can demonstrate to them that, hey, that's not the end of the world. I think that could be a pretty powerful lesson for a client as well. So I think that pretty much concludes my session, Jensen. Thank you for being here and doing the activity here with me. Okay. I think we are done. That concludes my session, and that's it. Thank you.